Hey guys, what's up? RedExions here and welcome back to this brand new video. And today it's finally time to get back out on track. It's been about 3 months since I last drove a kart and I'm looking forward to it quite a bit. So yeah, I've got all the stuff in our little van here. Now we have to drive for about 45 minutes before we get to the track. I think there's no time to waste, so let's go there now. Well guys, we are here and I have some bad news. First of all, the track is wet, so it's definitely going to be wet tires. And second of all, it's kind of raining, so yeah, I don't think we'll be running slicks today. I hope so at least, but I suppose not. And yeah, I really wanted it to be dry today. Also the weather forecast said it was going to be dry, but with this Dutch weather you never know, unfortunately. But hey, we're here, so let's just get everything ready. Alright, so everything is set up now. And now we have to change the entire thing to wet setup, which I'm not planning on. What I think I'm going to do, I'm just going to put on the wet tires, correct gear ratio, because that is, I think, the most important thing. I put a little bit more grip at the front, and apart from that, I'm not going to do much. It's supposed to be a chill day, okay? First day back after a few months, so I'm not planning on stressing too much today, actually. And I just hope it's going to be dry, because also if it's going to rain, then I'm not going to test my brand new engine, which is in the van right now. Alright, so I changed the most important bits. Wet gear ratio. Front torsion bar, this is the hardest one. This will make the chassis a lot more stiff at the front. Right now I'm putting some fuel in it and it has to stop, so I'm going to turn my manual pump off. There we go. And after that it's time to fire her up. Yeah, it hasn't run in quite a while, so let's hope everything works. And then if that works, we'll complete it and we can go out on track. Boom! Everything done. I'm ready. I need to put on my rain suit over there, clear visor as well because it's raining, of course. So to take it easy, the first few laps of the we'll see if we can push a little bit more. And, yeah, we'll see you guys on track. When you want to get off the darkest ground, gravity pulls you straight down. So that was the first session. Yeah, pretty much felt right back at home. Just had to get used to, you know, how this thing feels in the wet and stuff. And it was kind of twitchy in the beginning, but I think we improved towards the end. I think we went like 4 seconds faster in the end. So yeah, now I think it's time to do some setup changes. I'm going to actually put some grip at the front this time because I didn't fully put the grip on yet. Also sprocket. I felt like it wasn't pulling out the corners that well, so I'm going larger on the rear sprocket so that I get more acceleration. And yeah, so far so good. And let's change those things. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Welcome back on board, guys, to the first testing day of 2024. We are back at my second home track of Circuitpark Bergen in the Netherlands, and boy does it feel great to be back. If you are a long fan of the channel, you will know of course that we go here quite often, but if you're new, first of all, welcome to the channel, awesome that you're watching this video. If you end up enjoying this video or learning something from it, please consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons, because that would really help me. Anyways, this track starts out with a very short run into T1, quick dab of the brakes and holding the kart steady on the exit to line up for turn 2, taking a lot of curb to help the kart rotate. Turn 3 is another right hand kink, which is easily flat, a little straight follows, which is the braking zone for turn 4. In the wet we want to turn in a few meters later, eventually cross that slippery racing line to get the best possible traction. We then let the car flow out to the middle of the track so that we can brake very hard for turn 5.
a right hand hairpin in which we again use the curbing on the inside to help the kart rotate. Keep the kart on the right hand side as much as possible because turn 6 we once again turn in very late, rotate the kart and accelerate out of the corner in a straight line. Turn 7 is easily flat in the dry, but in the wet it's more of a setup for the next left hander of turn 8. We just took 2 curbs to 8 rotation and we're going to do it again for turn 9. Let the kart understeer past the rubber where it will now rotate and have traction. For turn 10 we will be using a narrower version of the dry line, by braking in the middle of the track, taking a huge amount of curb and trying to keep the car toward the middle of the track on exit. Only turn 11 is left, a left-hander which in the wet requires a lot of bravery and liberal curb usage. And that is a lap of Berchem in the wet. So yeah, Berchem is a pretty wild ride in the wet. The racing lines I just showed you were, in my opinion, the best at this moment in time. The thing is, however, track grip evolves, especially in the wet. So don't think that these lines will work every time. You can see this happen in real time actually, because later this day you can see that we start taking one corner completely differently. Let me know in the comments if you found out which one. Anyways, a few laps in I noticed something funny going on with my steering wheel, so I pulled into the pits and found this. Yeah, my steering wheel was doing it out in Senna, but luckily I'm an expert mechanic, so without many problems I was able to secure it again. We were in the pits anyway, so we could tweak our tire pressures too. Once I was back out, I encountered some other Rotax Max Senior driver, so now we had a reference point for the day. When you're out testing all by yourself, it's kinda hard to see if you're doing well, but once other drivers from your class show up, you have a benchmark to compare yourself to. However, because this was only their first session and my second one, I was much faster at this moment. Anyway, I'm not complaining and it's a good start of the day.
Alright guys, that's session 2 done. Yeah, I think it went quite well. Tested something, the tire pressure didn't really feel good. I mean, it felt better, but it was slower, so usually that means that it's not better. I'm kind of struggling to get back into the rhythm, kind of. Maybe it was down to the tire pressure, I don't know, it just didn't feel quite right the second time I went out. Or I mean, when I let the tire pressure out, you know what I mean. And then yeah, there's one major thing that I'm going to be testing, and that is all of my exhausts, because I actually have no idea which one's the best, so I'm going to test all of them. The other ones are still in the van, but I'll get to that later. And then yeah, fun day so far, I like it.
Yes, you heard it correctly. I am testing all of my exhausts. You might be thinking, Red, aren't they all the same? Excellent point, but no. Whilst it is true that they are meant to be produced in the same manner, it is also true that they are welded by hand, meaning that there are a lot of tiny differences between each pipe. The one that is on the kart right now is the oldest one I have. I have had this thing for years. It has survived multiple crashes, has some big dents all over the pipe, and we even had to weld it due to damage. But despite all of these things, I still felt it had more power in the higher revs compared to my other pipe, which is a lot newer. And you can even hear this difference on camera. Afterwards we decided to switch to my third pipe, which is a random crappy one I bought as a spare. After a quick pit stop I was on my way again, and somehow this one gave less top speed but way more acceleration in the lower revs. Really cannot give an explanation for this, and these little things about karting really fascinate me. Conclusion, there are minor differences between the pipes, and there is pretty much no way to tell which one is fast and which one isn't. I'm just lucky that I happen to have one good and two great pipes. That's motorsport for you. Up next, we once again switch to the helmet cam. I've got a new one for this season and I'm kind of still fiddling around with the settings, so my apologies if it looks a little bit unusual. Also, I have been getting a lot of comments asking how I do these 360s. It's really a lot simpler than it looks. Step 1 is floor it, step 2 yank the steering wheel to either the left or right, step 3 straighten out the wheel. There's really not much more to it than that, and it is a great way for younger kids to learn kart control. I just do it so that my outlap is a little bit less boring. Anyways, do you guys remember the other two senior Rotax drivers? Well, one of them was back for round 2. He lets me pass and follows me around for a bit, which is a really common thing drivers do to learn from each other. However, when I let him pass 2 laps later, we can see that we have a problem. The problem is that he is much faster than me at the moment. I tried copying his lines, but that didn't work for me. However, this served as a kind of wake-up call for me. I peeled into the pits, had a little think, swapped exhausts and then went back out again. But what you could then see is that I improved by almost a full second. And then 1 lap later, by another second. So yeah, I think that goes to show that sometimes in order to improve you need to swallow your pride, let the faster driver through, have a think and try again. We even end up setting a lap time of 57.4, which is almost 2 seconds quicker than what we were doing before. We were definitely on the right track here. Also, I decided it was time for round 3 with the 357. I used his trick of cutting the track to be right on his bumper, and now the chase could begin. You can see that he is still quite a bit faster than me on corner exits. This could have multiple reasons, but I assume he was running a different setup, or he was using a new 2024 engine, which are rumored to have about 1.5 to 2 horsepower more than the engines that I am currently using. Throughout the fast corner we could keep up, however, and a few moments later we could strike. I think we made a lot of improvements this session, and that was a fun little battle we had.
Alright, we did some more sessions, tested all of my exhausts, and we came to the conclusion that there's quite a big difference between them. You've probably heard it when I explained it during the onboards. But then I got overtaken by Sim, which was one of my rivals from last year. We were running about the same speed the entire year. And he overtook me, and he was a lot quicker, and then I kind of woke up, and then I improved by 1.5 seconds, which is quite a lot. And yeah, I think that also goes to show that sometimes you need to kind of swallow your pride, let the faster driver through, and you can learn a lot from it. I think the video spoke for itself. But yeah, I don't think it's going to dry up anytime soon. We still have 2 more sessions left. This thing looks absolutely crusty now. Look at that. Oh my god. Yeah, there you can see kind of a vague tint of red when I remove all of this dirt. And unfortunately, we cannot run this thing today. I really looked forward to seeing the difference between this one and that one, because this one is still using the pre-2024 cylinder. This one is supposed to have like 1.5 horsepower more, but I don't know. But you guys are probably wondering, Red, you're testing your Rotax. What are you going to do this year? Well, I'll explain.
So, 2024. This is going to be an awesome year. Lots of races all over Europe across 2 different classes. I think you guys are ready for it all. Before we dive into that, however, let's go over the people who have made it all possible. First of all, that's you, the viewer. Over the last few months the channel has started picking up some steam, and we are now almost at 31,000 subscribers. Because the channel has picked up some momentum lately, I have been able to attract some sponsors which help me fund my racing. First of all, returning for a 3rd year in a row, K Racing will be the main sponsor for this year again. You know them, you love them. K Racing is an OTK and Rotax Max dealer at which you can buy parts at some crazy low prices. Right now there's still a discount code available, and if you use it on checkout you can save 5% on basically every item in the shop. Returning from last year, we also have JVD Power, my engine builder who makes these rocket ship engines. We have Van Gala Techniek, who was actually at the track with me this day, and Delivered Media from the USA. I would like to thank all of you for the continuous support, and because of you, I can now proudly say that my #1 fan from day #1 no longer has to help finance my racing. So for my dad, if you're watching this, thank you for everything over the last few years. Now it's time for you to start saving up and buy some nice things for yourself. By the way, we have an awesome suit coming up for the season. And there's actually one more spot for sponsors which is still open. So if you or anyone you know is interested in sponsoring me, send me an email to this address and maybe we can work something out. But what will we be driving? Well, excellent question. First off, I am proud to announce that I will be racing in the full Tillotson T4 Championship in the Netherlands. Last year we did 2 rounds of the Dutch T4 series and I enjoyed them a lot. And as a cherry on the cake, we actually won both of them. I like the T4 concept, and that is why I have decided to do the entire season this time around. I hope we can also win a ticket to the T4 Nations Cup, which is basically the World Championship for T4. Last year I think luck wasn't on our side in Valencia, and I hope this year we can do a lot better. And before I forget, my girlfriend will be doing the entire T4 season as well. I will also be making 1 guest appearance in the T4 Series UK at Wilton Mill this summer. I can't wait to race this awesome track and to finally meet some of you guys in person. I'll be there in the last weekend of June, so to all Brits watching this, now is your chance to come and meet me in person. Then, Rotax. I didn't invest in all of this new Rotax stuff for nothing. Both K Racing and JVD Power have made it possible for me to do about 5 to 6 races in Denmark, in the Danish Rotax Max Challenge and various club championships. I'm not completely sure which ones they will be just yet, but I will be putting my provisional calendar in the description down below. If budget and time allows for it, I will also be competing in 1 or 2 Dutch or Belgian Rotax Max Challenge races, but I can't make any promises yet. And oh yeah, one more thing. This year I will also be making my debut in race cars. More on that later on this year. So yeah, that is what we are doing in 2024. I'm certainly looking forward to everything, and I hope you guys are too. One person who was also looking forward to it was this guy here. Anyways, after I gave him the universal sign of friendship, I encountered Rick. Rick has just made the switch from ID engines to Rotax and he was kind of struggling to find the correct lines this day, so I gave him a little helping hand, after which this awesome battle ensued. Always a good time having battles like this. About an hour later though, everyone left and I had the track all to myself. Let's end the day with an onboard lap, no music, no commentary.
So a good first day back at the track, and I'm looking forward to this year, which you guys have heard. We're going to do a lot of races. I'm trying to stick to the plan that I have now as much as I can. I said it last year as well, but things turned out a little bit differently, but this year I'm going to make sure that it won't. And yeah guys, with that also comes the end to this video. Now if you enjoyed that, then please consider hitting those like and subscribe buttons, you know you really help me when you do that. And yeah, once again we have one hell of a year coming this year. And it of course wouldn't be possible without you, the viewers, the sponsors I mentioned in this video, and of course my dad who always believes in me and allows me to do this. And yeah, looking good so far. There's a video on screen right now that the algorithm thinks you will like, so definitely go check that out. This video however is done and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.